fucking that alien.
Bitch, you graduated in like 1970.
I'm fucking that alien.
Thanks for sending me to my grave with AIDS.
I'm fucking that alien.
I hope he gets dick tendonitis is what I hope.
I'm fucking that alien.
I got that blood pressure so high my toes are swollen.
I'm fucking that alien.
You get to jack off in the crowd.
No,
I'm
you
gonna
just get to
fuck
hang
my
out
hand in the
with
crowd, that's for
that
sure.
would be like,
I'm fucking that alien.
Hey, you white piece of shit.
I'm fucking that alien.
Yeah, I got some good drops on my phone. I've been recording a lot of farts lately.
yeah.
Kind of in my
That's
thing.
cool.
I want to make a song.
Oh, put the mic up to it.
Put the mic up to it. Let's hear the fart.
Trying to get the volume.
You got a speakerphone option?
Trying, guys.
Okay.
We need to hear these farts.
Aaron called from jail, by the way.
Yeah.
Matt.
Oh, I missed that, huh?
Yeah.
I missed the fact that he was even in jail.
Yeah. There. That's impressive.
That's great.
That's a
We've
great
officially
fart.
become the Howard Stern Show.
Mike, I want the gods to feed me anabolic. I want them to feed me anabolic. Tattoo was a success yesterday. 12 hours in. I got 4 more hours to do, so 16 hours on this tattoo. I just want you to know that Bigfoot is real, and we are going to fucking hunt him. We are going Bigfoot hunting, and we're going to start this. We are going to start Bigfoot hunt for Sam Swain. Fucking Sam Swain. He's real. The big man is real. I just want you to know that. And everybody needs to know that Bigfoot is real. So, I will hunt him. And I will find him. And find proof. I love you. Call me back.
Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to Radio Underground. Shit.
Radio Underground, episode 162. It's a good day here in Michigan. The Wolverines beat the evil Ohio State Buckeyes. I couldn't possibly be happier about that. You'll notice that Brian and Al are not here. That is because I have like 3 family members with COVID or are sick, and I was around them for the holiday. So, just me. People might be calling in intermittently. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to use this as an audio podcast more than just a brief show to be happy about Michigan beating the evil empire, the demons, the SEC, like Ohio State with their cheating. And I'm just glad that we won. And, I don't know, can't be happier about it. And by the way, hit like if you're whatever you're watching on. I don't know. Some people watch on Facebook. Hey, what's up, Joseph? How you doing, man? You can hit the like button. Helps us with the algorithm and such. But yeah. So I got to. Besides the Michigan winning, we'd also like to give our condolences to the Green Power Ranger. He died, Tommy, and I think his real name was Jacob Frank. But I never really got into Power Rangers because I'm so old. I was actually an adult when that came out, and the only reason we watched it was for the Pink Ranger. It was hot. She was hot as fuck. So anyway, been a good football weekend here in Michigan too. The Lions haven't looked terribly bad. They're at what, like 2 of the last 3. They beat Cook's Chicago Bears. I'm gonna put this link out here. If you guys want to be on the show, click it. We talk about Michigan's big win, or the Power Ranger death, or whatever. We can do that too. There's the link. If you want to click it, you can join the show. But if you don't want to, I don't blame you. But let's go ahead. Not drinking alcohol tonight because I had a violent hangover last weekend. And I was projectile vomiting. Kevin Conroy died Monday. Oh, no way. Oh, Big Bird's here. What's up, Big Bird? I better move this.
Hey, what's going on?
I better move that. Okay, there we go. How you been, man?
Pretty good. Just got back from a weekend with the family, having Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
So it's work starts on Monday, so be taking tomorrow, just recuperating and getting ready for the month ahead, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming this is Eric. Michigan's rape of Ohio makes me hard. Okay. I'm guessing that's Eric. Straight. He just put that on the screen. That's funny. What's up, Darth? How you doing, man? Yeah. So, did you see the game at all, or no? I know you're a Georgia guy, so not really any interest.
I've kind of been out of the loop of football this year, in both professionally and college oriented. So,
Yeah.
from what I've heard, Georgia's doing good. There was a Tennessee suffered a brutal loss against them, which I hear was devastating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the Tigers. I heard they were doing pretty good for a stretch, but yeah, I don't. It seems like all the usual suspects from the last couple of years are up for contention. So it's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, I'd say Michigan's going to be 2 now, and going into the playoffs. So we'll see. I think Michigan rape of Ohio says, never forget. Fuck Georgia. Okay. I don't know, man.
Still salty over that game. I can see.
Yeah, I don't blame him because it was bad. Like I said, I'm glad they beat Ohio State. That's our rival. I'm glad that happened. But man, if they can't at least be competitive against the SEC team, I'm going to be mad. They look pretty good today, though. Put up 40. I believe it was 43 on Ohio, so that's good.
Yeah, they had a good double-digit lead over them for a good chunk of that game.
Yeah, I had to do a couple deliveries to frickin' the hospital, U of M hospital. That place is like a city. God, it was horrible. Like getting unloaded and getting out of there took forever. It was the week before that. Darth says, I've never been big on football. If I wanted grown men to throw flags around at each other, I'd go to a pride parade. Well, opinions vary, Darth. I know. So okay, I get here. Just check this. Well, yeah. Oh, here's Joseph. I'm good, brother. Thank you. We twins now because we both ripped hat. For an Englishman, I can't read your English hardly ever, Joseph. But thank you for watching. So you got anything coming up there, Big Bird? Anything cool?
Oh well, not to infringe too much on the United States Air Force, but we've been working on a bunch of. I'm here at the middle of Georgia's got an Air Force base where they do a bunch of C-17 work,
Yeah.
and we're coming towards the end of the year, and we only got two more left to
Really?
to continue with before we start the beginning of the year, and that'll be our new financial thing where we get a whole bunch of money for another new project, and we'll be seeing what we got going on into the spring.
Oh, cool.
But
Bring more freedom abroad
yeah,
to places with resources.
I'm a little disappointed though because my dad told me like since I started working here, he wanted me to get a C-17, actually build him a kit of one of those aircraft,
Okay.
but I can't find any of those anywhere.
Yeah.
You got one guy that does like a good C5, which is like the same body type but just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
You got like three flavors of transport aircraft in the United States Air Force. You got the C-130, the Hercules, which everyone knows about.
Yeah, that's the main one. Yeah.
You got the C-17, which is the Ford jet engine one, and then you got the C5 Galaxy, which is a slightly bigger. You can't even tell the difference at a distance, but I think it's what the difference is. Like the C7's got the wing, it's got the wing edge that goes up 90 degrees, and then the C5 is flat.
Yeah, I don't know anything about aircraft other than the C5's the really big one. It's the only thing I know.
Yeah,
Big Bird. Eric wants to know what's in Area 51. Do you know?
I wouldn't know, dude. That's on the other end of the country. I'm here in
Yeah.
the Podunk, Georgia town.
It's got reptilian aliens. Nobody's ever watching, Eric. There's no difference. We make our bones with all the people that are bored and ride around in their car or truck, and even that's not that impressive. I don't even know why I'm doing it anymore, but I guess I'm bored. But yeah, I seen a C5 one time at Fort Bragg. They had that fucking thing was amazingly huge. So I couldn't. They had like a 30-foot ladder to get in the cockpit or whatever.
Oh yeah, like you got to go up a whole flight just to get into the body of the aircraft. Like that whole cockpit's that's like a whole like a complete story up from the rest of the cargo bay. That is a government plant trying to bring this show down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
I glow in the dark.
Yeah. I wish the show was important enough to get brought down. That'd mean that we were making some progress. So it was. So I don't know. So I'm trying to send out. You play video? You said you play video games at all?
I do. I'm mostly like a computer guy. The stuff on
Okay.
Steam and all that. But I'm aware of like Gears of War and all of that's concerned.
Yeah, I actually tried to play Breath of the Wild again. You ever try to play that game on the Switch?
No, I hear it's pretty good though. Like really open ended and all that.
Yeah, I went to play it, but I realized I don't have time for that anymore because it's like a little too involved. You have to. It's almost like survival. So you have to sit there and go through all your freaking inventory constantly and create food and shit. I just like, dude, I just like to just play. I just went back to Borderlands. You just shoot shit. It's just like streamline. I don't want to like, craft food, cook food and craft things all damn day. I don't feel like it.
Yeah. You ever played any of the Far Cry games?
Oh yeah, Far Cry 3 is one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, well, Far Cry. If you would just want to like shoot shit and wander around, like Far Cry 2 is like tailor made for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful looking game. Really, not much else other than to just go to a certain area and shoot everything in it.
What's up, Andrew? Yeah, I played Far Cry 3. It was one of my favorite like non-Skyrim games when I first started playing it. I was like, holy shit, this is pretty good. You can kill tiger sharks and everything. It's pretty sweet. Or bull sharks, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's good crafting. It's like easy crafting where you hit one button. You don't have to sit there and... Oh, you're playing Borderlands 3 right now? Oh, sweet, Andrew. I played that game. It's probably the one I put the least amount of time into it, though. It's Borderlands 1 and 2. I freaking put, hundreds of hours into. I'm playing them now still. 3, I probably played 30 hours. Just ran through it with Phil, who usually calls in. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I have time to get like super involved and relearn a new game. I'm getting old. I get frustrated real quick, and they're like, do you go in an area that's cold and you start freezing and dying? Like, I don't want to fucking deal with that shit. Not anymore. So
Yeah, it reminds me when Rust came out back in 2013 when it was just a beta. That was really
Yeah.
big on the whole like convoluted crafting system. Like
Yeah, that's it.
you gotta craft three times of everything to get an axe, and then to make firewood, and it just.
If people want realistic games, but actually you don't. If they're too realistic, it's boring. It takes forever. If you think video games are fun, you should try real life. I already do that Monday through Friday. It sucks.
Yeah, life is the greatest immersion sim. Real life.
Yeah. I went outside and the graphics were really good though.
Yeah.
It's full HD.
I've been getting into like old school Doom wads. If you've
Yeah.
ever heard of those, like they
No.
take the base Doom game and they you got a lot of really dedicated developers in like Europe or wherever. They'll create like full 32 map games based on the Doom engine, and they up the ante in terms of difficulty and just map design. They'll make their own textures and it'll look beautiful. The turnoff being is just like ridiculously hard in every aspect. Whether they stretch it out for like a full hour and a half, you got to go through it, or they'll just cram a bunch of monster closets and have you slug it out and thinking by chance you're able to get through this gauntlet of just completely unfair design.
Yeah. They just intentionally make it really hard. Looks like we got Brian.
Yeah, there's really nothing like it where they just open up and suddenly, oh, there's 30 revenants and 20 cacodemons you got to chew through. And you only got the single shotgun ammo.
Oh, okay, I get it now. I'm not getting live. There we go. Trying to get my face in the picture here. What's up, Brian?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, cool.
Oh, there we go. That's a lot better there. So yeah, I imagine you're really bummed out about the game too. It's really depressing, huh?
Yeah, super depressing. It just made my holiday weekend, that's all.
Yeah. I was thinking, I know I was telling Big Bird, though, why I'm just drinking coffee. I only had like 8 tall boys last week while I was already kind of sick.
Yeah.
And I was projectile vomited the next day till like 8 p.m. So I was like, and I didn't even drink that much. It wasn't like that bad of a hangover. I just had that like gnarl gut from being sick.
Yeah.
And it was fucking brutal, dude. So I'm taking a while break here. So I don't fucking.
Yeah, I've been having stomach issues all day, and I think it was because I don't eat what most adults eat vegetables and fruits and stuff, and I
Do they
don't.
really?
Some of them do, and I've been doing it through the shakes I drink in the morning, adding like superfoods and stuff to it, and I haven't had any problem. It's been a couple months, and all of a sudden today it's like I drank one and I didn't eat anything till dinner time, and it just like flushed everything out of my body. So I've been shissing all day.
Shissing out of your ass.
That's just for people who don't know. Shissing is shit pissing out your ass.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if Al's going to come on or he just can't figure it out again.
He is old, so
he was the one that was more. I figured, well, if one of them comes on, it's going to be Al. Then he's probably just sitting there, accept, clicking the link.
Oh, Michigan's rape of Ohio makes me hard. I guess that's probably E-Cook, I would think. Probably.
Yeah, it might be, possibly.
So, I got bone to pick with him.
Oh, yeah.
3 weeks ago on our show, he said Michigan's defense isn't good and they wouldn't beat Ohio State. And guess what?
They did.
They did both things. Defense is
I
good.
didn't think they were going to beat Ohio State, though.
I had to be honest, I didn't either, but I knew their defense was okay. I just thought they were going to get blown out. Not blown out today. I kind of had it could have gone either way. But I just want to say he basically said I didn't know shit about football. Me, the football expert.
The
And
guru.
but I told him. Just saying.
You tried to tell him, and you never got a chance to shit on him about the Bears, really, with him in the room, have we?
And that was the other thing. No, because that was the night before they played the Bears, who they trounced by 1 point. They basically won at the last second against Chicago, but I don't care.
A win's a win.
I don't know shit about football, but I was right about the Lions beating the Bears, and I was right about Michigan beating Ohio State, and Michigan's defense being okay. Well, no, it's fine. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a good time for their offense to put up a bunch of points. I'll tell you that.
I saw one person said that, and I don't know if he actually believed it or if he was just throwing it out there, but that McCarthy has been intentionally throwing bad deep passes for the last 4 weeks just to throw Ohio State off. I was like, I don't think that's the case, but I don't. But whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
like he's just intentionally been like, oh, I can't throw deep passes for like 4 weeks straight.
Playing bad teams, like, oh, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
We can't win.
He's been sandbagging this whole time, just hustling them.
Whatever will I do against a good team like Ohio State?
I think this guy actually thought it because he's like, you never know, Harbaugh, he does stuff you don't expect. I'm like, yeah, I don't think he does that.
Yeah, I just can't believe that the score made it look like it was a trouncing, which is going to look good for years to come.
Cook is right. It was that second half because the first half looked pretty much even, and then all of a sudden it was it. It was it. Georgia did the same thing because Georgia was pretty close, I think, most of the first half, and then they kind of started pulling away from Tech. And then they had beaten it by quite a bit, but still.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Tech has kind of been the sort of a jobber team for the last couple of years. It's mostly anybody in the state. If they pay any attention to college football, it's going to be the Bulldogs.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, they pretty much trounced them that second half.
Oh yeah, it was pretty even. I thought in that first half. I only watched a little bit of it, but you could tell it was just like they were kind of like, all right, we'll start trying now. That's the way it is.
I remember me and my dad. I think last year we went to see Georgia Tech play against Virginia Tech, and they got just trounced the whole game. Like they had a bit of a resistance in the first quarter, but once Virginia got to double digits, then they kept on running. They couldn't stop them.
Yeah, I mean, Tech is obviously, yeah, they're definitely the little brother in the state of Georgia. They probably have been for a long time, but
which is a shame because what with the legacy of John Heisman, they basically pioneered football as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've ever heard that story of them versus Cumberland College back in like 1919.
Oh yeah,
it's supposed to be like the 200-0, like just a ridiculous sport, but somehow completely legitimate.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, it really used to be Georgia Tech was actually a pretty decent team. 70s and 80s, they were always one of those teams. They'd play like Notre Dame and a bunch of other people, and they were pretty decent, but not anymore. Only one good thing has come out of Georgia Tech in the last 40 years. Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, Melvin.
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, some caller in a local Detroit sports station years ago kept going on about Melvin Johnson's play, so it became a running meme around here. Melvin Johnson. 6'5", 240. Melvin Johnson. He's unbelievable.
Run a 4.35 40. He actually did do that. That's insane at that size that he ran a 4.35 40.
He's like if Usain Bolt decided to start doing deadlifts every day. That's what he was.
Packed on an extra 100 pounds.
Yeah, Calvin definitely did waste his career. So did Barry Sanders. We know, Eric. We know.
Yep.
And so did everyone for the Bears. Not in 1985.
Well, it's funny because Remember how after Barry retired, you didn't see him anywhere, like for years and years. You'd only hear about him every once in a while. And now, every time I turn on the freaking TV and watch football, it's like him. He's there doing stuff for Lions, or he's doing a Sam Bernstein commercial, or he's doing a Bet MGM commercial now with Jamie Foxx. It's like, what the hell, Barry? You didn't do shit for years. Now I see him everywhere.
He hated the media. He wasn't like mean. He just didn't want to talk to anybody. He was really shy, I guess.
Yeah.
But
now all of a sudden he's not. I guess he's not shy.
He used to go to that. He used to frequent that titty bar up there at 12 and Mound. I forgot what it's called. But
John John's.
John John's. They saw him there all the time.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing when his wife left him or whatever. He's like, "Well, this is where my money's going."
Well, that was a funny. John John's was just. Well, I understand it was a little more upscale than some of the ones in the city, but we didn't have strip clubs outside of the city. They were always in Detroit proper, except for John John's. I don't know how that worked. It was literally like 25 feet from houses for a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't know how that zoning worked out.
I don't know.
And there's
just
a bunch
Dairy Queen and John John's strip club next door.
Yeah, strip clubs are like heavy metal clubs. They're supposed to be dangerous to go in and out of. That's the point.
Well, the annoying thing about that, like whenever I drive back into Warner Robins from the north, like the immediate turn into Watson, they'll give you the billboard that says strippers noon through midnight, but they never give you an address. They just tell you, turn left here.
They're out there somewhere.
Yeah, I guess I got to look for them.
Well,
I'll know it when I see it.
It's a scavenger hunt of hoes.
Do they lurch themselves in front of your car? Lap dance. You go to lap dance?
Go that way. Over there.
Start titty fucking your car antenna.
I don't know. We got a couple of guys out with a sign saying, hungry homeless.
We're spinning signs.
I haven't seen anybody in like a good lingerie bit out there.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's how you come up business.
I'll give you some leftover quarters. No problem.
But back to the strip club thing at John John's, you're always better off going to the ones in the city because you may or may not get more than a lap dance if you know the right people. I heard.
Yeah. I've heard that from people.
Yeah.
I've never experienced it myself, but
no, none of us have.
No,
but we're talking about other people telling us
what
happens in those places.
Well, because they always had extra money to pay for such things too if they wanted to. I never had extra money.
Yeah. There was the one where Kurt Gibson.
Not that I would. I'm not saying I would have.
Well, we know you wouldn't. We know that.
My wife's not listening.
Well, Kurt Gibson and Dave Rosenbaum met their wives at frickin' the Booby Trap on 8 and John R.
Yep. They married twins.
So that's you never know. You could find your wife at one of them places.
It's true.
I just paying her way through college.
I love the John John's. I know we talked about it, I think just a few weeks ago, where how the city of Warren just totally fucked them over. They're like waiting for them to renovate, and then they go to renovate one thing, and they're like, they changed one thing, and then they're like, oh, grandfather, it's gone. You're not grandfathered anymore. You got to close down. They're waiting for that one opportunity to close them down.
Moved one sprinkler.
Yep. As soon as they changed one thing, they were grandfathered in under that thing, and as soon as they changed it, like, oh, you got to get out. So
got it. We should have just left it alone, man. We lost our business.
Yep.
Because they probably got the only like east side suburb business. There are people that are just horrified to go down to Detroit for anything.
Yeah.
They got all those people.
Yeah, like we said, you don't get a lot of them outside of the city. It's always like in Detroit proper, in Flint proper, Saginaw. Yeah. But then you get like one that's out like, what's the one on like Emmett, Michigan, like little farm town. They got a strip club. The one they always talk about on Drew Mike.
The one-leg girl.
Bisco's.
Yeah. They have a one-legged stripper, or they did at one point.
It's just a farm town. It's got like a main street, but at the beginning of the main street, there's like an adult video store, a gas station, and then a strip club on the other side of the street. And that's Emmett, Michigan.
Yeah, that's all for the truck drivers coming through.
It's the strip club that you found in Kill Bill Part 2.
Yeah.
It's just out in the middle of corn country.
It's basically what it is. It's like there's an expressway, and then like a little bit past the expressway, it's just that. And then trees.
It's in the worst location for any business I could think of.
Yeah.
Unless like I said, unless the drivers just stop at that the filling station or that like little truck stop that's a little bit south of there, and then make their way over. Yeah.
Yeah.
They leave Loves to get love.
And it's always the stories. There's like eye patches, one leg, C-section scars. There's always just the worst stories. No teeth.
Yeah. I remember one I had a lap dance for one in like Canada, and it was the first time I actually put my hands on a ripped woman.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell she was ripped because she kind of had like a. I mean, it was. She kind of not like a robe, but like she had like a top, like an '80s top part that you kind of almost wear a. Remember the chicks who would wear the fucking their belt over their long shirt? She kind of had that going on. Then I got a lap dance for her. She was cute, and then I'm like feeling her arm, like, oh my god,
she's in shape.
I've never. This is before chicks lifted weights, guys. This is before we let them. This was like the '90s.
She had an athletic build.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to lift weights or step foot in a gym till like 2005.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's not. It's totally a true story.
They banned women from gyms.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm guessing that's Chris.
That place looks nasty. I used to drive by it on my way to Bad Axe every week. I thought it was closed, so it was so run down.
It may be shut down now. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's so far away. I don't think it would ever. They could probably get away with whatever they wanted in there.
Oh yeah, because the stories they used to sell meth and everything out of there.
Yeah,
it was bad.
There's one time I went to Players, and we were totally there on a normal like just innocent like fucking let's just go to Players. It was me and Frank's next door neighbors, those guys.
Yeah.
And some guy comes up to us, and maybe we look like total desperate creeps or whatever. And he comes up with like this perfect talking voice, but sort of like Vince Neil's like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna let you know, 75 gets you a blow, 100." I'm like, dude, we're not here for that. He was totally like just like laying out the menu for us, and we're like,
no,
I'm not. I didn't come here for that. He was like,
I only want to play.
Whatever, we're gonna take care of you guys, and I was like, why'd you pick us out of everybody here?
I only went there
like
once.
A fucking loser.
Besides the one we went to on my bachelor party night, which was Cover Girls or Centerfolds? Whatever one it was, over on Houston Whittier.
Yeah, Cover Girls was on Houston Whittier. Centerfolds was Seven and John R.
John R. Yeah, but Players, like, because my uncle wasn't driving at the time, and he lived with us, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to give me a ride. If you do, I'll buy you lunch." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, cool." And we went and dropped off whatever we had to drop off at his cousin's house in Detroit, just inside Detroit. And he's like, "All right, go this way." And he's having me make all these turns. And he's like, "We're gonna go to lunch," and we're making these turns. I'm like, I'm like, I think I know where I'm going. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "We're going to a strip club. I know we are." And then, sure enough, it's like, "Turn here." And it's like, "All right, go there." I'm like, "Oh god." So I'm like 18, and he's like, "Just go in there." I'm like, "All right," one of the Players, and he's like, "Try the steak tips. They're delicious." I'm like, "It's a strip club. There's no way the food's good." And it was fucking delicious. It was fucking great.
Usually they have good steak and stuff. I don't know where Alan is, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Probably has something better to do, I guess.
No, football's over. I'm sure he has nothing to do.
Yeah.
There's no football left tonight. There's no football tomorrow.
We have a theory that he can't find figure out the link to come on the show. That's my theory.
It might be. He was having internet issues the other day too. I mean, his Xfinity cut out too when he was watching the football games on Thanksgiving. So maybe he's having an internet issue.
Well, I hope it's that. Anyway, big win, right, Ryan? Go Blue.
Go Blue. And, dominating.
Yeah, so that's
that was my favorite stat was the rushing. They had almost no rushing in the first half, and then like they can't rush, they can't do anything. And all of a sudden he broke 2 for over 45, 50 yards. It's like, what the hell happened? It just changed so drastically, so quickly.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it got bad for Ohio State, which is great.
I mean, the two Cornelius Johnson touchdowns were a little unexpected, but it was still pretty even at that point. And also in the second half, it just not even just the second half, like the end of the third and the entire fourth quarter, it's just like Ohio State just I guess they just said what game plan and just did whatever they wanted. It didn't. Nothing worked.
Yeah, there was a good meltdown. I was
Yeah.
like, it's nice to see somebody else have a meltdown instead of team I'm supporting.
Yeah.
So sick of it.
Well,
And one
I
guy-
was wondering if you guys could, as a Southerner, you guys could clue me in on the lore as in terms of like Northern Michigan football.
Mhm.
So, like, I get you guys like the Wolverines and the Buckeyes. I'm not quite familiar with any other rivals in that whole corner of the world.
Well, we got in-state Michigan State, which is kind of like your Georgia Tech, I bet. But
yeah, well, I remember. See, it's hard because I can't remember like a Georgia Tech moment as monumental as like that Michigan State fumbled whatever that game was where they fumbled the ball and then they ran it into the end zone at like the last 10 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
The botched punt, wasn't it?
Yeah, like that's still making highlight reels. I don't think like Georgia Tech and the Bulldogs have had any sort of.
There was the TJ Duckett thing too.
The TJ Duckett clock management game.
Yeah, that was so bad.
It was kind of a cheat, but yeah, there's been quite a few things, but it was a block punt. Yes, it was a block punt, and they ran it in. Thanks, cuz. But Michigan Ohio State, I think, is just Michigan State's a big rivalry, but it's like 1 week a year, whereas Ohio State Michigan, it's like they're planning right now for next year's game. It's just the whole year. That's how long they'll plan. Both teams, it's all they think about for the next year.
Yeah, they really hate each other. Plus, with Michigan versus Michigan State, there's more of a like Michigan State will occasionally beat Michigan, but there's still kind of a factor where you're just not as afraid of them. Like it's not because losing to them is just more of a like losing to your kid brother that might smack you in the back of the head and aggravate you.
Yeah.
But like if you lose to Ohio State, you end up fucking crippled and in the and in the ER for a few weeks. It's like
no,
more
it's
devastating.
We
almost went to war with them. Like literally,
we almost went to war with Ohio back in the 1830s. Over Toledo. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But it's just it's also a really, I mean, this was the 118th game. So they've been playing each other for 118 years. It's been a long time. So I think that's the big lore of it.
And
plus fuck them.
And Bo was Woody's like understudy and branched off.
Yep.
So they kind of view it like when Satan, decided he would take a third of the angels and create hell.
Yep. That's what he did. He sent them. Yeah.
We created.
Well, it kind of seems like you're all in the same circle. Whereas, like as far as the South's concerned, like the Crimson Tide, Alabama's the evil empire, and it's a contest every year to see who can prove themselves worthy to come across the greatest evil of football. And sometimes it's Georgia, sometimes LSU. It kind of depends.
Well, and this year is twice. They lost twice already this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's and that's the funny thing. I don't hate Alabama. I hate Nick Saban. I just don't like Nick Saban.
And he coached Michigan State.
If somebody else coached Alabama, yeah, I just don't like him. I don't like him when he left and went all of a sudden abandoned them and went to LSU and then the Dolphins and everything. I don't like him. But if somebody else were to coach Alabama, I probably wouldn't have a problem with him.
Well, he's got like a parallels to Harbaugh, right? Like Harbaugh made his bones working for Michigan. Yeah. He takes a job in the NFL with the 49ers. He does that for a couple of years and then just has a falling out with them and goes back to his alma mater.
Well, yeah, so and Harbaugh coached at Stanford. He didn't really. He did a little bit at Michigan, but he had coached at Stanford first.
I mean, it's a well-known meme that college coaches rarely pan out at the NFL level, but you'll still get some over the course of years. They'll try to break the stereotype. And some of them are successful, and others not so much. And whatever happens, they always seem to circle back around to the place where they had their glory days at.
Well, and even nowadays, it's used to be like that was the promised land was the NFL. You know, that's where you go. You make your career, you make your money, and now, I mean, they make more money in college than they do in NFL. Nick Saban makes like $9 million a year or some shit, and they give him they give him a house, and he basically he doesn't ever have to leave. He's won how many national championships? He's in a national championship hunt every single year. And he makes $9 million a year. So why would you leave? Don't worry about the NFL.
Well, he's a very good coach at the level of football that he's at. Like it's a different college and professional are two very different flavors.
Well, if you're a professional coach too, you're dealing with people that more or less view you as a peer, not their superior. So you got to manage their personalities. You got to manage the divas and. That plus they're playing for money. If their numbers are down and you're not throwing to them like they're a receiver that thinks should get, you're affecting his bottom line and financial viability. It's just a completely different fucked up situation. But in football, in college, it's just like we got to win as a team.
Like college is like they put everything on the table. Like you're either going to be the superstar of the future in the NFL, or you're going to play these 4 years and never revisit the sport again. So you're going to go 100% firing on all cylinders every single game. And I think there's some coaches that can only operate under those conditions and others that can't. Because in the professional games, sometimes it feels like you just got to pump the brakes. And sometimes you got to you put on a game as a show. Like if you're playing this Thanksgiving or you're playing something when you're like 10-1 in a division, you're gonna be showing the audience something. I really don't know how else to explain it, but it feels like NFL is a little more circus than you would at a college level.
Well, yeah, because I mean, especially someone like Saban, college, a lot of the coaches have an ego, and everybody knows he has quite an ego. He likes himself a lot.
Yeah.
But you're not dealing with that with your players. You know, your players are basically just listening to everything you said. You're not dealing with the egos. Whereas in the NFL, he has his ego, and then he's dealing with player egos, which you know you're not getting at the college level. The same thing.
Everyone but the offensive linemen have egos.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the kicker maybe.
Yeah,
but
well,
kickers and punters don't have egos usually.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So
he's not dealing with that in college, where he did have to deal with that in Miami. So now he's the head dog. He doesn't have to deal with that now, and I think that suits him better because fuck him. I hate him.
It's like the Richie Blackmore thing talking about leaving Deep Purple. He's like, well, why'd you leave Deep Purple? He goes, well, in Deep Purple there was a bunch of big egos. In Rainbow, I'm the only big ego. So it worked out perfectly. That's a college coach right there. They're doing the Blackmore theory.
Oh yeah, actually, cousin Ryan's got a good point. You know, Nick Saban only makes $9 million a year. Michigan State coaches makes $10 million a year. Mel Tucker for what are they even 500 this year, and he's making $10 million a year. Plus, he took a $100,000 bonus that was supposed to be split amongst his staff, and he just kept it for himself. So,
as happens.
Why? You just made $10 million. But that's another ego. He definitely has an ego. Just they're 5-7. Thank you.
5-7.
They're not even bowl eligible. They technically, I don't think they can go to a bowl right now, and they're paying him $10 million.
The Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
Starve.
The Toilet Bowl.
Yeah. The Hashish Bowl.
Yeah. Pack a Bowl. But yeah, Michigan's first 12-0 season since '97. Is that? I don't know if you're missing a comma there or not. Oh yeah, his contract is $90 million guaranteed. When they extended him to give him $90 million guaranteed.
Look at that comma.
You're missing a comma there. But I knew what he meant. So basically, that guy, they gave him a 10-year extension, $90 million, and it's guaranteed. If they fire him next year, he's still getting all that money.
If you watch a screen, that's what I'm going to present to my boss when we talk about raises this year. This is what I want right here.
Yeah.
This is what I want. You will give me this.
He'll just put a zero after that first. He'll put a decimal after that first zero. Here's your $90
Yeah. Here's your Christmas bonus.
jelly of the month.
Yeah, we'll pay you in crypto.
Yeah. Oh God.
Bankman fried. Whatever that is.
But oh yeah, he's right. Actually, Harbaugh did coach at San Diego State and then Stanford. I did forget about Yeah, did I forget about San Diego State? Yeah, maybe. I thought it was Brady Hoke. That was a San Diego State.
See, I feel like that would be the next Grace Heist movie, where it's just like an Ocean's 11 type come together and it's like, okay, we're gonna take this mediocre college team, we're gonna take them all the way to the championship final, and we're gonna swindle the organization out of an exorbitant extension price, and then just walk away.
You could. Nowadays, you can get away with it. They always do that. They always jump the gun, and like somebody does good at a smaller school, and they're like, "Give them all the money." So you can definitely do something like that.
The FXT, that whole collapse. You know, the only thing I like about that is that there's a good chance I won't have to see those logos on the umpires' uniforms every time I tune into a Braves game.
Yep, they play all the time. You'd see them in the background too. I forgot what I was going to say. Crap. Harbaugh was San Diego. Okay. It was San Diego before he coached Stanford, right? Is that what we're saying? Cuz I believe that's what it was.
Harbaugh was he was the city of San Diego.
San Diego. Which made sense because he finished out his career at San Diego also. The Chargers.
Dude, okay. San Diego, home of Legoland.
Oh, that's right.
I still think it is.
That's right. That's right outside of San Diego.
Yeah,
I would go there.
If I had to like live in California, I would much prefer San Diego over LA.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's not as fucking wild and shit.
Yeah.
But my uncle Trace did say the Bay Area, besides the street shitting and everything, he said it had the nicest climate that he ever experienced. So I don't know.
I have a buddy that lives there now, and he like when we're in the 20s and 30s, he's like, it's like 67, and then during the summer, it's like 67. It's like never changes.
Yeah, it's like 70.
It's like the same all year round.
That's perfect.
You can't afford a house there, but you can't afford anything there.
Yeah, you can't afford to launch yourself off that bridge. So all the people
that'll kill you.
The thing is that people that I watched a documentary on it. I think I already talked about it when I was drunk one day, so I won't even get into it. But yeah, people go from all over the country to go to that bridge. They don't even live there. Yeah, they'll drive from like Pennsylvania to the Golden Gate Bridge, and they Greg Louganis off of it.
And the ones that survive talk about how like halfway down they're like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" And somehow they survive.
Yeah. It's the coldest winter
I
I ever
really
spent
think
was a
that
summer in San
some
Francisco.
people fling themselves off of that, just thinking like, "Oh, there's water beneath me, and it'll give way. Like it won't hurt."
The coldest. Oh, that's a Mark Twain quote. Yeah. Samuel Clemens. The coldest winter.
Which actually happened, by the way. I remember back when I was living in Alabama, they had a bridge between the southwesternmost part of the state in Dauphin Island. There was a huge bridge that goes to a big arc right before it goes over into the mainland. And we had some Taiwanese family. Some husband drove his family up there right at the peak of the bridge, threw both his children off, threw his wife off, and then threw himself off.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like,
that's utterly depressing.
Just out of just complete randomness, like couldn't even establish a motive. Just flinging himself the highest peak they could in that section of the country.
Jesus,
that's crazy.
But
if you're gonna do it, just do it to be a man and do it to yourself only, people. Just yourself. If you're feeling that, don't involve anybody else.
I mean, you got some remote parts of the country where it just like
Ryan wants to know where this was. Where was this?
Where was the bridge throw?
Dauphin Island, Alabama.
Oh,
Are you saying is it dolphin or like Dauphin?
It's a French word.
I got it. Yeah,
Dauphin. Dauphine.
Dauphin Island. Yes. Okay.
And it's about, which is like one of the most remote places I've ever lived. Southwestern corner of the state. If you've ever looked at it on the map, you'll have like that little inlet of the bay.
He
It's
said he
right
was
on
just
the
there
right
this summer.
left lower side.
Is that the Dauphin Island Bridge?
Yes, that's the
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he was there this summer. So sounds nice. It's isolation, get away from people sounds great.
Oh yeah, like in terms of being like separated from the rest, like it's 30 minutes to the nearest Walmart from there. So you're well away from the rest of society as a whole.
Well, that's good.
And as the sunset capital of Alabama, like it's a pretty nice beach. You got some nice like houses out on stilts out there.
Mhm.
There's like an abandoned golf course you can explore, like a whole facility there.
Nice.
Like
Like a
it's
clubhouse,
pretty
you mean?
neat. Yeah, like I remember it was like operational at one point in the early 2010s, and then they gave it up, and now it's overgrown with weeds, and people can just rustle through it if they're walking on the beach.
Yeah, don't want to do it in the summer though. You got a lot of snakes down there. So I don't like Michigan's climate at all. But one thing I do like about our climate: no snakes, or very few poisonous ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, dude. Like when I first moved to Georgia in like '98, I remember my dad took me fishing in like some nature walk down there, and he got jumped by a cottonmouth.
All
And
those things are
me and my
mean.
brother were just off in the corner, just dicking around. We're like 5 years old. We didn't know what was going on, but that thing jumped him, and that scared the hell out of him. He put us under each arm, and he just dragged us out of there. It's like, and I'm not fishing that place again. We're gonna find ourselves a nice pond closer to home.
Yeah, cottonmouths are fucking mean. I remember when I'd fish down south. I got family, South Carolina and stuff. They said even a rattlesnake, yeah, you can avoid them. They, just if you see one go the other way, the likelihood of it chasing you or bothering you is very low. They don't want to fuck with you. But a fucking cottonmouth will jump your ass. They're mean.
Yeah,
They chase you.
I don't think people fully appreciate the power of a snake. Like once it gets up around your arm, like that coily body of theirs it'll put some tension on you. Like every time, like I can remember, like when I was in school, we had like some nature person came in. It's like, oh, check out the snake. Have it wrap around you. Like I associate that feeling with the scene in Prometheus where the guy has the alien thing come around his arm, and then it just breaks it like that. Like it just, that is just a somewhat interesting, sublime feeling right before immaculate pain.
I remember this guy across the street when I was a kid had a probably like like an 8 or 10 foot long python, and he was, you're a kid, you were like, let me hold that thing, I put it around my like neck and everything. You can feel their muscles when they move, like each plate, like my phone right here is like each muscle, and they got like hundreds of them that goes along their body, and you can feel like that block of muscle move from the next one to the one. It's like 1, 2, 3. I was like, dude, if this thing wanted to fucking strangle me, I'm dead, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Yeah. And then fucking Frank Kojak dropped it. He was like holding it like this, and it was dropped and hit the cement. It goes. And the guy's like, "All right, guys, enough playing with the snake." It's like, sorry,
it gets around your neck, and even if it's peaceful, you can feel every single muscle constricting around your throat, and you're just like, I hope to God I can get a finger down in there just to create some barrier of defense.
Yeah, you got rattlers and moccasins, down in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Ryan. Yeah.
I know they do because Spencer Rattler played at Oklahoma.
Yeah. All we have is garter snakes, and I've heard up north there's some timber rattlers, but I've never heard of anyone seeing one.
Me either.
I've never seen one ever.
I think you got my Spencer Rattler joke.
Yeah. Yeah, but every time I go down south, like I forget that you don't have to worry about fucking reptiles here. So you go to a hike here, it's not factored into your trip. But when you're like when you're down south, all of a sudden you see a fucking lizard, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because your mind's not thinking about lizards, Like
Not at all.
In my mind, I think lizards like live in Australia and that's it. Like like this is only 12 hours away from my house. There's a goddamn lizard here. What the fuck?
I can't remember what state park we were at, but same thing. I wasn't thinking about any. I was thinking like chipmunks and squirrels and like birds and some other rodents and other things. And we're walking, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Yeah, you watching?" I'm like, "No, snake," and it was like a garter snake, but it was a bigger one. And I was like, "Holy shit!" And I ran because I hate snakes. But I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, I'm in Michigan. I don't expect to see snakes on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so if you're
a rat, maybe.
It's the speed that's the most off-putting thing about them. Like, whether it be a snake or a spider or whatever insect, like it does that thing where it'll remain stationary no matter what, and then the minute you get into range of it, it'll bleak off into another direction.
Because if I saw a fast snake,
how can something like that be that fast? It's so unpredictable, and you can't judge it, and
it's like a squirrel trying to run across the street. You can't predict which way it's going to run. The squirrel's always like, where the fuck's that squirrel going? Snakes are the same way. But if I saw a fast spider running and all of a sudden it ran near me and it was fast, I'm gone. I'm leaving that state.
Yeah. Well, I remember growing up, like squirrels would usually keep distance from humans. Like if you got within like 10 feet of the thing, it would go up a tree. And then I go to school in Milledgeville.
My mom feeds them fucking
and
things.
Suddenly, like the squirrels can get within like a foot of you. Like they're hanging out on fences, they're climbing up in trees. You're just walking past them. Like if you had a thing of almonds in your hands, you could probably just feed them to them right there.
Well, I know Mike has the same issue because his mom does. Our moms do the same thing. They feed the squirrels around here, so all the squirrels in their backyards all have like cholesterol issues and stuff because they give them all the food, like fat, but they also got heart disease. But they don't care. They can't get away from you anyways, and they don't try to anymore because they think we're gonna feed them because our moms do that shit.
Yeah, my dad has the opposite theory. He got himself a pellet rifle. Like he went to Walmart and he got the one, that looks like a Remington with a scope and everything.
Yep.
And he's got to position himself right on the bottom near the basement door because if he does it out on the deck, like he risks people seeing him.
Yeah.
And I guess in that part of town they don't approve of it really much, which is. It kind of doesn't make sense because you let all these deer and other things just populate to a degree where they're threatening people's cars. But whatever. Yeah. So he sneaks his pellet rifle right by the green. He sees a rabbit fucking around his wife's garden, and he'll take a shot at it. I remember it's hit me and him over the summer. Like I'm out on the deck, and he brings a pellet rifle up. We got a rabbit jumping around. I get one shot in. He takes it to the basement. He gets a second shot in. The rabbit does a thing where it stands stationary and then it just slowly keels over.
What's up?
And that poor thing. Oh, did we get Al on finally?
No, it's Tesco's fucker 64.
Oh.
Hello, Tesco's fucker.
That's Joseph, right?
Hello?
Earth to Tesco.
You there? I hope you're okay. I need you okay.
You can't hear you, sir. Readjust your microphone.
Just so you know, Tesco is a store in Europe. That's what he named himself after.
Yeah, Tesco V. He sins for a living.
All right? All right.
I'm here.
There you are. There
okay.
You are. We were getting worried. You don't have reptiles on the English, the British Isles, do you, Joseph?
No.
So you've never seen a snake or anything like that there, right?
I mean like pictures and stuff, but I've not seen one in person yet in England. I only seen like one in Turkey.
Oh, Turkey, yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I had
so
turkey
yeah.
Thursday.
Me too.
Yeah,
Two
same
different
here.
types.
Yeah, we celebrate something called Thanksgiving here. We
Yeah,
Yanks
I
do.
heard about that.
Yeah. So we already eat a lot anyway, and then we eat an extra lot that day.
Yeah.
Then you notice my face is bloated more than normal.
That's how we do it. Yeah. It's it's America thing.
So how you doing, Joseph? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you, brother.
Yep. Now Tesco's is that a store there in England? Is that what Brian was saying? Is that true?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I've seen a lot of movies. That's why I know.
You eat some chips there?
Get some crisps.
What?
Got some nice chips you got going on there?
It's a
having a bit of nosh at the end of the day there. Nice fish and chips there, mate.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, back to reptiles. I hate them.
Reptiles suck.
Yeah.
They do.
They're cool, but they suck.
Oh, they're cool if they're, contained. Keep them away from me. You gotta segregate them from me.
Jim Crow when it comes
Well,
to
I
reptiles.
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Jim Crow when it comes to
I didn't say that at all.
Yeah.
You were putting words in my mouth.
Yeah.
I did not say that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's chicks that are into snakes are freaks. Yes, that's true. But I would say if you see a chick with like a Burmese python around her neck, if you go to her house, you're going to get a sucking. I really think so.
Well, I don't know. Did you ever hear that Weezer song before? Like the 3 pet snakes, probably a lesbian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying if you could make it over to her house. Brian's got to leave. Yeah. So now I don't know what's going on with Brian. All right. But anyway, Danny, how you doing, man? Danny is a musky Danny's got a freaking a fishing profile on Instagram, pretty decent amount of followers. Catches large muskellunge, which is a muskie.
Muskie. Sorry,
I'm still bummed out that Al Linder died from In Fisherman. I know I used to watch that in the 90s. He used to get all excited. Oh, I got this big fish here, Bab. He had the most northern accent possible. It's like a caricature of a northern. Oh, Bab, look at this fish here. Oh God, take a look at him.
It was almost like he was putting it on, but he wasn't. It was like, yeah.
You know when like Northerners try to mimic Southerners and they go too far with it.
Yeah.
That's what he was, but to a Northern accent. But he was being himself. They're into some nasty snake shit. Yeah, I've heard stuff about Thailand and snakes. They always do the snake trick when a Westerner shows up at one of their little events.
Mm-hmm. The events they have.
Yeah, I gotta censor myself because I know your wife's in earshot there.
Oh, I think she's already got her CPAP on and stuff. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got my CPAP ready when I get out of
here. Our good friend Eric is trying to access the chat. It's available on the YouTube, right?
No, I'll send it again. Here.
Just the chat itself? Oh, you can't do the read?
I'll put it through oh, there he is.
Well, he doesn't want to be on cam. He just wants to comment on stuff.
Oh! He can't access the chat.
I don't know. Maybe he's just doing it wrong. I don't know.
Why wouldn't he be able to access the chat? Well, go to, he can go on Facebook. Well, that would give out his real name. I mean, weird.
Yeah, he doesn't do Facebook. He doesn't
Oh,
believe
Eric. Oh, you mean the other Eric?
not
we know.
E-Cook.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm talking about our local friend who's been on the show.
Well, he's got to have a screen name. He can do it on Twitch. You got Twitch. You got YouTube. You got. I'm talking about if you wanted a screen name and not your actual name. So, Twitch, YouTube, DLive, and whatever. I don't know.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
Anyway.
I thought I just heard Alan's voice. That was so weird. I'm hearing things.
I thought I did too. Yeah, an ominous specter.
Yeah. So
has anyone here ever fucked a snake woman? I haven't.
I have not.
Chick this into snakes. Or they're really into reptiles and creepy crawlies, and they got the leg tattoo. You know the leg tattoo I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it is a snake on the leg.
That's true.
Coiled up. That's a warning.
You should know better at that point.
We already know what they did when God told them don't eat the apple, and
they ruined everything.
Done it anyway. I like if people they mute they turn their camera off, but they don't mute their audio. So
that's what I did at first too. I'm
talking to these fat fucks from Michigan. Yeah, I can't stand them.
Those fat fucks, you know.
Yeah. They get on my nerves. They go, "Hey guys, how you been?"
I'm like, why is my head moving a different way than I'm moving? Because I had the YouTube feed up also along with the restream. So like my head was moving this way and talking and looking down and stuff, but I was like, wait, I'm not doing that currently. What's going on?
Why do I look like I'm in a Mandarin film?
Yeah. It does look like that. I was like,
where's my brother?
That's exactly what it looks like. I figured it out, so I'm gonna make
Godzilla. He is coming.
I just hear Big Bird doing stuff in the background.
My voice is dry as fuck, brothers. Fuck snakes and fuck women. Okay. Oh, that's our private chat. I'm sorry. That's against.
It makes for good TV.
Well, we're glad you chimed in, Joseph. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, you can stay in. I mean, you're in the private chat. I can.
Yeah.
Parlay it to the people for you. We could turn you into a VTuber. Did you guys?
Oh, Eric said he's like, I'm just trying to figure shit out. I'm very high, so that's probably why I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, that happens. You know, that's okay. Here, I'll mute Big Bird till I see his face again.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Alan just did. You know, or maybe he saw my message and was like, "I'm not gonna do it if Brian's not doing it." But then I fucked him over and did it anyways.
Hey, I got rid of him.
I did it. I got just me. I'm back. I didn't mean to do that, but I forgot what I was going to say to you. I had something I was going to bring up, and I lost it.
It's like, I didn't kick him out. Oh, he left. I didn't kick you out, Big Bird. I just muted you, but you left. Come back anytime you want. All right.
I was reading some anecdotes from different famous people the other day, and Burt Reynolds had a couple. Burt Reynolds was actually could be a big dick, but he was actually did some pretty cool shit, you know, because he was a stunt man. He did a bunch of other stuff. He was very
an athlete.
He was an athlete, yeah. Obviously, he played at Florida and stuff, so he's an athlete. So he did a lot of his own stunts, but he also just basically did whatever he wanted. He made a whole movie about stuntmen. It's called Hooper, and he did a lot of the stunts in that movie. Anyways, also he didn't go along with the National Enquirer. You ever heard of the National Enquirer?
Yeah, I did.
A lot of famous people did not get along with them, and I think he famously sued them like 12 times or something. But so he was born here, but he was raised in Florida and stuff, and he had his own what do you call it, compound in Florida, Jupiter, Florida, and So the National Enquirer was based in Florida, so they weren't far from him. So he got into it with them, and he found out that they had the biggest Christmas tree in the country at that point, bigger than the one at Rockefeller Center and everything. It was huge. And he had a horse farm. So what he had all his the people working his farm do was gather up all the horse manure and animal manure into these big tarps, and he tied them up and everything. And he had his guys, because he had a helicopter at this point, he had them take the helicopter and take the big huge tarp of shit and go over to the Enquirer place and just open up that tarp from the air all over their Christmas tree. He just dumped thousands of pounds of horse shit all over their compound, their facility. I thought that was great.
Well,
He's a good guy.
they're that's awesome. Their business model used to be, well, we'll get sued for 10 million, but we'll make 20 million off the fake story. That was their business model.
just
So
make
I'll
something up.
I'll lie to this extent, but we'll pay the lawsuit. And what's the difference? We'll make more money.
They really messed up his career, because remember, he was like the number one star of like the late 70s. It was like always Burt Reynolds, and all of a sudden the early 80s to the mid 80s, it wasn't having much luck. But he started looking older and started wearing a toupee and everything because his hair got real thin. And they basically said Burt Reynolds has AIDS, and that was their headline. And it cost him roles. People thought he actually had AIDS. So he was like, I'm going to dump shit on them. And he did. And
Very Slim Penis says penis.
All right.
I think I know who that is. How you doing, sir? Thank you.
The other story was like, and this kind of, no, it doesn't involve you at all, but it kind of does. You ever heard of the movie Deliverance?
Oh, yeah.
They filmed it on near where your family is in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Parts of it, right? So anyways, he was filming that, and the director, John Borman, who directed Excalibur. You ever seen Excalibur?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, that's from like 1981. It's a really good movie. But the guy who directed that also directed Deliverance. And they wanted to, the part where he goes over the waterfall, they wanted to throw a dummy down the waterfall instead of doing a stuntman. He's like, no, I'll do it myself. I'm Burt Reynolds. And they're like, no, Burt, that's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. We'll just do the dummy. He's like, it's not going to look real. I got to do it to Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So they let him do it. He went over the waterfall. As soon as he hit the pool below, he hit his shoulder on a rock and then his head on another rock, knocked himself out, floated down the river, and woke up in a hospital. And he woke up like a day later in the hospital, and he had a concussion, and his shoulder was jacked up. And they're like, yeah, it's like, did you guys get the footage? He's like, yeah. It's like, all right, good. I'm glad I could do it. How'd it look? Like, it looked like a dummy going over a waterfall. So
he got knocked out for nothing.
For nothing. So basically, it just looked like what they wanted to do originally. So, but he went through all that, and he got messed up. Yeah, he did blow his shit out, indeed.
We love you too, Eric. We hope you're having a phenomenal night.
I heard you really. Never mind. I don't want to say it.
Yeah, we're separated right now because I had a few family members with COVID. I don't have it, but on the off chance I wake up with a sore throat tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm just be safe. We'll be back together next week in the house. Shit.
Yeah.
But especially if I don't get any kind of symptoms or anything. I was sick like 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, but it wasn't. Nobody was testing positive then. It happened.
I have not been sick at all since earlier this year, so knock on wood.
So my dad came. The funny thing is, my dad came over and he was like talking right in my face.
Hey,
so I was like, that was like 3 days ago. I was like, Dad, could you back up a little bit? He goes, I don't want a regular cold again. I go, I had a cold a week and I don't want to get re-sick. He's like, all right. He came over to get coffee pods, and then when he got it confirmed, he's like, I got the chills. I'm like, yeah. He goes, I need cigarettes and coffee pods. That's his COVID. That's his treatment protocol.
Yeah.
Cigarettes and coffee pods.
He'll be fine in 2 days. Watch.
That'll get rid of the chills, Dad.
Yeah.
The Newports.
Yeah, the heat from the smoke and the cigarettes will heat him up, keep him warm.
Yeah, it's like he was cracking me up though. Then he was like trolling my mom and sister and family chat. He's like, "Spread my ashes in Kentucky." He's like, "Spread my."
That's
like,
funny.
Dad, like, it's not funny. I'm
It's like, remember me.
Then every little change in his body, he would like, I don't feel so well. Like, Dad, quit it. You're freaking them out. You know, like. It's like, I'm sweating. Like, that'll be random. All of a sudden, no one's talking for 2 hours. All of a sudden, I'm sweating.
Well, it's good. You're sweating it out. That's what you're supposed to do. Let your fever break.
And everything he does makes me laugh. And then I'm sitting out. It's not. It was actually really nice out yesterday.
Yeah.
But at night it gets cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the wind's whipping and stuff. I just hear him out in the garage doing shit. I'm like, I gotta go out there like a child. Go in your house. Go in your house. What are you doing out here?
He's out there because does he still have like the printing presses and all that stuff out in the garage?
Yeah,
he's out there. He's like, I'm gonna get these things working. I'm gonna do some
Yeah.
printing right now.
And then he's arguing with me like a teenager. He goes, I can't just sit inside. It's like, it's funny, man.
That's funny.
He actually today was feeling a lot better, so he's already like better than 2 days ago. So
yeah, that's good.
But then yeah, I don't know. He the only thing that was worried me for like he was coughing a lot. Like I could hear it because he's lived next door. I could literally hear it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great. But I don't know. He'll be fine. He's already like not coughing nearly as much. He's being annoying again, so he's probably feeling better.
Yeah, he's healed. He's better.
Yeah.
He's back to normal.
That scene too with back to the Burt Reynolds thing.
Yeah.
I remember I saw that scene when I was a kid, and then like the bone is sticking out of the leg with the meat. And I saw that.
God.
And I was like, oh! I've seen that movie when I was way too young. I never seen forced sodomy, and
I didn't watch it until I was an adult.
Stuff.
Like, I was literally in my 20s when I finally watched it. I was like, ooh.
I was like 13, I think.
Yeah, it's probably too young for that.
It's like
just.
There's certain movies you can't see when you're young. That's one of them. Exorcist is another.
Yeah, we talked about The Exorcist before because I still have never seen it, and I think at this point, I mean, maybe, but it probably doesn't still hold the same, greatness it did that. I mean, it's probably still a great movie, but it's probably wouldn't really freak me out now. If I would see it even 20 years ago, I probably still would have,
Yeah, when you're a kid, like whether you become religious or not, at some point you believed in that stuff. So when you're a kid, you were in the thick of still believing it. And
yeah.
You're like, I remember thinking I was going to get possessed for like a month. Like, it's going to happen. Yeah, Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty is
too much for you.
Folks.
Yeah,
it's true.
I want you to squeal.
so messed up. Who thought of that? Who wrote that script like that? Like, oh, see some forced sodomy.
Yeah, we're gonna get a fat guy. We're gonna make him squeal.
I mean, just you always never think about that. It's like, who thought of this situation? Did it actually happen, or was it just in their imagination?
And it had like some subtle things that you don't think about. Like life's not a Rambo movie. When you kill someone, when they finally killed that guy, they can't get his arm to go down. They're like, come on.
Yeah. It was a pretty realistic movie. It was just the anal rape wasn't. I don't know where that came up.
That's brutal.
Maybe that was one of his kinks. Was he like to have women or man, whatever he was into, squeal when he penetrated the butthole?
Speaking of penetrating the butthole,
mm-hmm.
How I think Paige Van Zant's heading down that trajectory. I really do.
Oh, it's going to happen.
So she started out with her OnlyFans, and Paige Van Zant, for those of you who don't know, was a UFC fighter, cute chick. She's got some, she's progressed through her online life. she started out just kind of a cute chick. Then she got the fake boobs and more stuff. Then she got an OnlyFans, and it was like started out with like just topless, and now it's her full clam, and it's just getting more and more each time. And I'm predicting it's going to end in a spit roast.
It definitely is. Yeah. There's gonna be a spit roast going on.
Once you seek out attention to that degree, it doesn't stop. It's like a drug. Like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing this. Joseph's gone.
Bye,
Now
Joseph.
full split screen. What about this view? There, I like that view better. That's better view. Because that other one we had, we were like, my face is just like right there. I didn't care for it.
I know. It was really close.
That was actually just early Southern only fan fiction.
It was the squealing, yeah.
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 So how many of you guys like the Ned Beatty thing? How many will
What do you guys
reenact
think
it?
of this? To tell like erotic stories to others, like Ned Beatty. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Just
any
start off
erotic
with
story that's Ned Beatty.
Nedrick Beatty. I don't know his real name, but
Nedrick. It sounds like a medieval knight that got picked on. Hey, Nedrick.
Nedrick Beatty. Picture this: flower petals all over the room. You know, he got that filter where it looks all like, you know, filmy. I can't think of what it's called. You know, you got the curtains. They part it. It's Ned Beatty. It's like, where the fuck? That'd be horrible. Just him on a bed. Ugh. You know that scene from The Room where he has sex with the lady, Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah, and the
But
girl
Ned
looked.
Beatty.
Everybody. I like the when people tell the story of that. The cast, the crew looked on in horror as it happened.
Yeah, it's so horrible. But imagine that scene, but instead of the girl, it's Tommy Wiseau and just Ned Beatty's there. That's the fiction.
This milky white skin and his fucking tighty whities. That's so brutal.
Oh man, Ned Beatty.
My mom, when she talks about she saw that movie, she said it traumatized her. I'm like, it's because they didn't know. They went to a theater. They didn't know what was gonna. They didn't know that was gonna be how that went down.
Oh no.
They just thought it was a movie about a movie about like a kayaking trip gone wrong, or a not kayaking, rowing trip.
Oh, it definitely went wrong. That was wrong.
And John Voight, Drew, when Fonda disappeared.
Oh yeah. Wow. There's a lot of people in that movie. Someone's trying to get to the broom.
I hear the blip thing, but I don't see a person. No, maybe they're coming, maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, they're coming. All the chicks that are hearing our voices. Yeah, because you think about just Deliverance, and you think of Burt Reynolds, and then obviously Ned Beatty because of that. But dude, the people that are in that movie, just superstars, you know, people. John Voight, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, Ronnie Cox.
Yeah,
who's not a huge name, but been around forever. He was in Total Recall, right?
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill. Ed O'Neill was in that?
I had no idea he was in that movie.
I'd have to look that one up. That sounds like somebody maybe just added that. Like he wasn't actually in that. It's like, yeah, Al Bundy was in that. No, I don't think he was.
Yeah. I think wasn't he trying to be a Shakespearean actor at one point in his career?
He might have been, but I know he's older, but it's like, I don't know who he could have been in that. He's like my dad's age. Ronnie Cox RoboCop. That's right.
That's right.
He always played a dick. Except for Beverly Hills Cop, he played a good guy. He played the chief police.
Just think about those Shakespearean actors like Richard Harris and Peter O'Toole.
Mm-hmm.
And what was their other buddy, the other big time? They were all drunks, but he was the biggest, Richard Burton. And they said he would.
There. Who's the one that died? Oliver Reed was the one who died at the barn wherever they were filming Gladiator, and then Albert Finney was one of them too.
Yeah, arm wrestling. He died arm wrestling, like he was like 60.
Yep.
Oliver Reed was arm wrestling a bunch of 20-year-old sailors from the the Navy, and he drank and did shots with them and outdrank them, beat them all at arm wrestling, and then died. That was his final night on Earth. That's alpha shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Beverly Hills Cop was great. Yeah.
Ronnie Cox was another guy who always looked old. I was talking about this with people at work, and most of them didn't remember, but Beverly Hills Cop came up because not Judge Reinhold's character, but the other guy, John Ashton's character, the balding mustache guy.
That
was like
probably
35.
Yeah,
he was 35 when he made that movie. Yeah, he was literally 35 in the first Beverly Hills Cop, and he looked like he was 55 already. But Ronnie Cox, the same thing. Ronnie Cox was like 40 when he made that movie, and he had like white hair, and he looked like an old man. And at 40 years old, what happened?
I think in the 80s, people just looked older. I watched an old wrestling video of John Tenta, Earthquake.
Oh, yeah.
He was 25, and it was his pro wrestling debut, and he was like way thinner, like maybe 300 pounds, but because he was 6'7", didn't even really look fat, just 6'7", 300, like healthy. And he was 25, and he looked the same in the face though, and his balding. He looked like he was 40, even then. So he started out looking old. He looked 58.
The Wilford Brimley Paul Rudd comparison was my favorite one, where it was Paul Rudd at 51 and Wilford Brimley at 51, and Wilford Brimley looked exactly like you think of Wilford Brimley looking, like making diabetes commercials or in Cocoon. And Paul Rudd was the same age, and he looked like he was 30 years old. Why were people so old looking back in the day?
Only thing with Wilford Brimley, he looked the same for 30 years though.
Yeah,
it started out at 65 the way he looked, and then just stayed 65 until he died at like 80 or something.
Yes, they did look old back then.
Nia's looked bad. The sheriff is near.
Everybody, I mean, it's true. I don't know if it was just, well, people are more health conscious now. They try to be, I guess. But everybody back then was doing whatever the fuck they wanted. Might not have been drugs or alcohol, but it was food and smoking and everything. They did whatever the fuck they wanted back then.
Yeah, a powdered donut steak sandwich.
Yep, the famous powdered donut steak sandwich you get from all the places around.
I think we look young because we eat a lot of preservatives, so it like preserves.
That actually might be true.
You might rot your insides out, and I'm probably 83 on the inside, but on the outside, I could, if I didn't have this gray, I could pass for 32.
Yeah, me too.
But the gray, whatever. That's how it's the only telling thing.
I have the white, and the white's so white that this light over here actually, you can't even see the hair on this side of my face right now because the light and the white combined just overshadow it. If I do this, you can see the white, but if I do this, you can't see the white. See?
You look like a background extra for God of War because it's just white. That's not actually gray. Like a Nord.
I'm really pale.
Yeah.
It's just this light bulb. I could either have the super blinding overhead light or the lamp, and I chose the lamp this time.
Yeah. I chose the darkness. The way
I should have. Although it'd be too dark in here, you wouldn't be able to see me probably. So.
Yeah, I have that one lamp that I keep on, but it's not enough light really. But the light from the computer itself shows my face good enough, so I'll just go with that.
It would probably work for me too. It's just, whatever. I'm not a lighting technician like on a movie set. But hey, we had some deaths this week.
Yeah, we can talk about celebrity. I already hit on the Tommy.
That was
Ranger.
You know what? Whatever. I mean, I was surprised at his, but I was surprised that he did it because he seemed like such a positive dude, and like he was still, he still did all the martial arts, and I was a little surprised that happened, that he offed himself. I still didn't hear how he did it. I don't know if it was drugs or if he, hung himself or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what he did.
I think he might have dangled.
Yeah, I think he might have. I didn't hear details, but I didn't have a problem with it. But Donovan is such a Power Rangers fan, and like I was trying to find the right time to break it to him because I thought he was going to be upset about it, and he was literally bummed out the rest of the day.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, the thing with about the Power Rangers is, like, when it came out and was like kind of big, I was pretty much an adult, so I didn't really get into it other than the Pink Ranger.
I loved her, but no, same thing. I was
everybody
probably
loved her.
too old. I was probably too old to be watching it, but I watched it as a joke. You know, I'm like Power Rangers, and I watched it as a joke.
Then you
but,
went and bought all the figures, and
I didn't
23.
I didn't go that far, but I was at that age because, like, you know, there's a year difference between me and you. But so you were like 14, almost 15. I was like 13 when it came out, so I was like right there where I probably shouldn't have been watching it, but I did, and I wasn't like, you know. But when I started watching, I was like, I don't want to watch this. And then all of a sudden, you know, I got to that point where I'm 13, and like the Pink Ranger was, you know, Pink Ranger. So I kept watching it also because of her.
He finally collapsed from carrying all the weight of the cool. Yeah,
he was the coolest Power Ranger.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah,
he was like an American Gary Daniels or something.
He was
with the ponytail and everything.
And he finally got rid of that a few years ago, which is good. But he kind of like, you know, he was like, it wasn't like what you call a great actor, but he was a decent martial artist, pretty decent, obviously. But he was almost like, remember like the early and mid '90s, that fucking kid who did karate, like the Magic Kid, Tiger Heart, Dangerous Place.
Yeah.
That Ted Jan Roberts or TJ Roberts. He was like the older version of that guy, like just a super positive, clean cut kid who did karate and shit. And that's what Tommy was. Tiger Heart's such a bad movie.
That song, Tiger Heart Won't Give In.
Love it. And then he did Dangerous Place with Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman was like the bad guy who also knew karate, but Corey Feldman did not, in fact, know karate. So, like, doing like these scenes, and he's like, and it was so bad.
Corey Feldman is the most unathletic human I've ever seen.
I mean, except when he does his spastic Michael Jackson dances. Other than that, he's
he's got good coordination with dancing. He does a few things well, but when he was on that celebrity,
the Fit Club,
not the Fit Club,
oh, it's Surreal Life,
just where they live, Surreal Life, and they had a softball game, and he was absolute garbage. Like the model chicks that were blown out from cocaine were better than him.
Yeah, I believe it.
MC Hammer kept getting home runs.
Well, MC Hammer was a pretty good baseball player back in the day.
Yeah,
he learned how to play from the Oakland A's.
Yeah, he was their bat boy.
Yeah. So he learned it all, and he obviously got some speed. I keep on getting pop-up ads for McAfee on my computer. Stop it, McAfee. But
he's not dead. He's really with us still.
The other dead one was probably a little bit more compartmentalized. A lot of people don't know who she is because they probably not everybody watched Supernatural. I did.
Yeah.
And Meg from Supernatural, the original Meg, died really quick. Kind of. She had leukemia like a year ago, and she didn't make it very long. But
that's strange. Some people they get leukemia, like they have multiple bouts with it, and they live to be, they get battle it for 30, 40 years, no problem. Then other people, it's like 2 months.
Yeah.
Just eats them up.
Well, I know Morgan and Jeffrey knew who she was because they talked about it in our group chat and stuff. So I know they're Supernatural fans. So Jeffrey more so than Morgan, but
well, obviously, if you look at her, she's pretty attractive.
She was attractive.
That makes everything so much worse.
Supernatural was pretty good. Did you watch all 15 seasons of Supernatural? Like I did.
No,
Eric? I watched every episode.
I didn't watch 15 minutes of it, but probably would have liked it. I don't know.
It's funny because my daughter watches it now, and she's like brief spurts. She'll watch 3 or 4 episodes and not watch it for a while. But she's in like season 7, and like the first 5 seasons, that show was pretty damn, for a CW or WB or whatever the fuck it was on when it first started. That was a pretty dark show for that. I was like, it was pretty violent. It's pretty dark. And then all of a sudden you kind of see where like you guys got to lighten it up. And all of a sudden it got a little bit lighter. And You watch a lot of scatter episodes. Well, there's this new invention. It's called Netflix. Get it and watch all the episodes. It's only like 300 episodes. Come on.
Frank was going berserk last night. I went over to his house to just see him, and of course he's one person that doesn't care whatsoever about COVID. I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know. My dad's like, I don't care. Come over. Like, all right. And I went over and I was sitting with him, and he was going bananas about the fucking Graham Hancock Netflix thing.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to.
Yeah, he's like he's like, all of my life, everything I've been saying, total vindication. I'm like, all right, I'll
Just
check it
because
out.
it's a TV show doesn't mean it's all true. I mean,
Yeah, it's a TV show that shows his point of view.
Yeah,
maybe it's
produced and directed and written by Graham Hancock.
Yeah. Any dissenting opinions? Get out of here!
That's what I mean. It was like,
get out of my studio.
If it was like his stuff presented by people who had like researched it and found out that a lot of it was true, and then they presented it, that'd be a whole lot more vindication. But it does look cool. Even a guy at work who had no idea who Graham Hancock was watched the first few episodes. He's like, that's some pretty interesting shit. It kind of makes sense. I'm like,
It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing of why do pyramids that are mapped the stars the same exact way happen here, here. How do they build them here? Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's interesting to think of, like, I guess the basic premise of it is it all linked?
Yeah.
And according to Eternal Graham Nation, it is.
Yeah, maybe it is. But I mean, thinking that just because he has his own show now is total vindication is
no.
Yeah, it's a little
is.
naive. I mean, you might be right. You might. It might be right. I don't know. But it's just
I gotta check it out.
It's like me writing a bunch of like predictions and stuff, and then all of a sudden making a show about it, proving myself right with basically no other research done at all. You know, like, no, not his research, just my own research into me. Doesn't work that way.
Or you do the Bill Cooper thing. I'm not going to pay my taxes. They're going to come and try to collect the taxes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in a shootout. But he predicted that I will be killed by the government. Well, if you don't pay your taxes and then you don't resist when they show up, and he's got a ranch, you know, it's like kind of knew what was going to.
That's like the epitome of a self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
Yeah.
It's like you just,
It's like me, you know, Brian, I think I'm going to be killed by a cop. And then I go out and point a gun at a cop. Hey! See, I was right!
You actually do suicide by cop just to prove yourself right. Yeah. That's pretty much the epitome of that.
Yeah.
But
I still want to watch it, though.
Oh, I'm going to watch it. I am going to watch it.
It's going to hunger dry ass and
yeah. And then I'm sure he brings up, because every time I've ever watched anything or listened to anything with Graham Hancock, he always brought up the settlement, the buildings he found in Turkey, that Göbekli Tepe thing.
Yeah, Göbekli Tepe, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll come up in one of these episodes too, but
we'll
see. Like I said,
does.
Somebody who had no interest in it at all and just saw the commercial for it and watched it, the guy at work, and he actually liked it a lot. But again, he is a believer. He totally believes in aliens and a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So he probably is more prone. But
I kind of did in the early to mid 2000s. Like, yeah, maybe the aliens. But then now the government had disclosure and they admitted it. I'm like, no, now I don't believe it anymore.
Yeah.
Because if they admit to it, then it's like, all right, this is some sort of ruse.
It probably is, yeah.
What kind of, are you guys gonna sack the treasury again? What's up? Why are you talking about aliens? Give me a break.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. There's something going on. So.
What was the other one? There was one more death that happened last night. That lady who died, who sang the songs.
I don't have it on. You sent it as an add-on, but I forgot.
Irene Cara, she sang the song from Flashdance, "Oh What a Feeling," and "Fame" from Fame. But she was also in Fame, I think. Either way, she died. There was a lot of people upset about that. I don't know how she died.
Probably pretty old by now.
63.
Actually, that's not that old, really.
She was pretty young. Fame, when the movie song came out, she was only like 21 years old.
Yeah, every now and then a celebrity you'll hear about their age. And you're like, oh, they're really not that old. Like Samantha Fox. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I forgot because they totally perved out on you when you were like 14. Put you
Yeah.
up there, like, so
It's
you're really
true.
not that much older than me. You're really not. It's like the girl that sang "I Want Candy" was like 14 in that video.
Yeah.
Dude's, like, oh gosh, she's so hot on that beach. Yeah, you know how old she is, dude? 14. Yeah. And you're watching that video and getting all worked up about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't wank the 14-year-olds in videos.
Yeah. Probably not the best idea.
No.
But yeah,
Or if you don't do it, first of all, because what's our motto? DFK.
yeah, yes, exactly. Don't.
But also DWTK. Don't wank to kids.
That's bad.
We're teenagers. I guess she'd be a teenager, but still. You know what I mean? It's wrong. Don't do it.
Yeah. Yes.
That always brings up the question, though, because let's say it doesn't really bring up a question, but like, so you're like back in the day when you had a crush on somebody,
Yeah.
And like you were like 14 and they were like a 17-year-old hot actress or singer. If you go back and talk about how hot they were at that point when you first developed the crush, is it creepy?
Yeah, if you at your age now look back on it.
Well, it's just telling a story. Like, oh, Jennifer Connelly was so hot in this movie that I watched when I was 14 and she was 17 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But now, if you're talking about how you've developed this crush on this person, yeah, I guess it is creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would say like, I guess it would be bad if you were like, I never thought much about Brooke Shields, but I just at 44 watched Blue Lagoon,
Blue
and let me tell you,
she is something.
It got me going.
Okay, that would be weird.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Like,
that would definitely be weird.
Or like, as soon as this is off, I'm gonna put on "I Want Candy" and dim the lights, and that's what I'm gonna do. DFK bracelets. Yeah, we're gonna sell a whole line of products.
We should. We definitely should. Like they have those WWJD bracelets, those rubber ones you can buy and stuff. We could get the DFK or the DWTK bracelets. Yeah, like he said, those bracelets, but the rubber ones or slap bracelets. That'd be cool. Remember how slap bracelets were a thing? We'll bring them back.
They need to make, like, I always thought of an idea of like this is back when they came out. I thought of this. I was a kid. I was like 6th grade. I was like, what about a bad guy, and his main weapon was a slap bracelet that was also a razor, and he cut you with it, and then his final move would be to like slap it, around your wrist, and your hand came off.
That would work so great in a kung fu movie.
Yeah, but he'd have to get but really for it to be a finishing move, it'd have to be a big one like around the neck.
Yeah.
So that
because those things were like this big, basically they went around your wrist, but you'd have to have like a giant one. It looked like a sword, but it was just a slap bracelet.
Yeah.
And
he wore he wore it like a choker chain.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then takes it off and puts it on his foe, takes their head clean off. I think that'd be
Wasn't
cool.
that in a movie where the girl had a whip around her neck and she took it off and she'd use it on people? Damn, I almost had the movie too. Fuck.
Probably.
It's gonna pop
sounds
in my head.
hot. I'll tell you that.
She had it and she'd use. Oh, it was that fucking Greco movie. If Looks Could Kill, where the little short lady, she had the thing.
She wasn't hot at all.
No, she was not hot. So remember, forget the hot part.
So
it was that little ugly old lady.
I meant to bring this up because we always talk about Ultraviolet with Esai Morales. It's like unfindable. Like we got the hard. Well, I guess people always complain about it. License to Kill with Richard Grieco, cannot find a download or a stream of it. It's impossible.
I'll tell you what, I got a download of it a couple of years ago, and it took me a long time. Because like when you download it, usually
I can't believe it's not on a streaming service.
Nothing. Or like Jet Li, but it was Linda Hunt, I think her name is. That's the lady's actress' name. In If Looks Could Kill, that's how she killed Roger fucking Daltrey, was with that fucking thing. It's like, and she killed him.
Augustus, who will kill for you? You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, her. But that was first, and then Jet Li did have it in Lethal Weapon, the fourth. But
Well,
if looks could kill, it took me a long time because usually if I download something or borrow something from the internet, I don't want to say downloading. Usually it's a pretty quick download because it's based on your internet connection plus the people you're getting it from. Nobody had it. Everybody had anybody who had it had like a dial-up connection. It took me so long to get that thing. I'd go back and check on it, and I'd stop it and then go back to it and start it again. It took me weeks to get that whole thing.
You had to get it from Augustus Steranko himself.
Yeah, and he's dead.
And
so.
Yeah. See the reason I found that out. Remember, I did the TikTok with excuse me, the TikTok I did with the Jamie Lee Curtis, like kind of grinding on a rope, and it's like the meme about chicks who like what do you call it, true crime podcasts, and they get so turned on by it. It was originally my idea for that meme was that scene in License to Kill when he puts the tarantula on her back, and she's like, like she's like,
that's right.
And that's why I couldn't find it. That's how I found out that you cannot find that movie. I was like, it's not here on YouTube or nothing. And some guy had one little scene from that movie. I'm like, does anybody have this full movie? And he's like, it's unfindable, dude. Can't find it. I'm like,
Brian's got it. Oh yeah, I watched it with my kids. They were like, they didn't like it that much.
The French teacher. I just wanted to do it for that one scene.
It's funny. He went to high school in Detroit. That's the movie started off in Detroit. It's like Richard Grieco in Detroit. It doesn't look anything like Detroit. And they're going on a trip to Paris for the summer to learn the French, and that's how he had to graduate. Remember? Yeah, and they're wearing like winter coats going to Metro Airport in the summertime. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, Metro. Yeah, it was filmed in Metro Anaheim.
It definitely wasn't filmed in June. I'll tell you that. It was wherever it was filmed. It was filmed in like December because it was cold. But Craig and Eric, who's been listening, had a big conversation about because remember the suction cup shoes?
Yeah,
they were like the best thing. Yeah, look at that school. Look at If Looks Could Kill right here. You can't see it because of the reflection. I can watch it anytime I want. I can get you a copy though.
Yeah, I'll need the copy. You put it on my thumb drive.
You got it. It's a good movie.
That fucking movie, but
Ultraviolet you can watch on YouTube though.
Yeah, it's on there now.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
But it's like it must be the same copy I got because remember the copy I got had the trailer for the movie and then the movie.
Yeah,
that's the same thing. So you got to watch the trailer. It shows all the exciting stuff that happens in the movie, but it's like that's pretty much all that happens. The movie actually the movie was better than I thought it would be. I knew it wasn't a great film.
I haven't seen it in 30 years, but I remember it as being campy. But my favorite scene is when she goes into that redneck bar. She's like, this guy's crazy. He's like, life's a bitch. And he's like, just
human trafficking. Fuck that shit. Get out of here.
That was killing me though.
Human trafficking ain't real. I don't care if he kidnapped you.
He just wanted to get his bang on with her.
And you know what? And I know it's nothing like this movie, but for some reason I get the same vibe off this just watching the trailer. Maybe it's because of the desert and the way it's filmed and everything. But every time I watch a trailer for it, I automatically think of Sonny Boy.
Oh, really?
And I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. Which is also a classic film.
Came out around the same time.
Yeah, Sonny Boy's great.
Took place in a desert, also.
I think that's what it. I think that's the only two things that really jive together. And for some reason, I was like, oh yeah, Sonny Boy. I'm like, why am I thinking of that movie right now?
Yeah.
Did David Carradine and Bluto steal a kid?
Yeah.
It's such a weird movie.
Yeah, they were. That's weird because they were.
Also, they have a cannon. It's like they built a pyramid, they steal a kid, they make him a dog that hunts people, and they have a cannon.
Yeah, and they hang out with Greamer Wormtongue.
Yeah,
for some reason.
That's it. Like, who the hell made this movie? And
So if
who
you get
wanted
it-
David Carradine to sing this song?
Then me and your brother watched that like at 3 a.m. one night, and it came on. And we're like, "What is this? Why is this?"
I honestly thought you guys made it up when you first told me about it. I'm like, this isn't a real film.
Yeah.
It's not a real film. There's no way. And then it totally was.
And then the girl with the Miami Dolphins shirt that frickin' tries to like seduce him or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like got bad teeth. Like, hey.
It's such a weird movie.
Yeah.
And that fucking Carradine song, that maybe it ain't. It did the whole movie. But that's what I think of when I see Ultraviolet. For no reason.
It's a great movie.
It is.
All right. We
Cool.
made it about 2 hours, man. I guess.
Yeah. I guess we don't need Alan anymore. He didn't want to show up. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know
blame
what
him.
happened to him. He's tied up at the house because I didn't want him on the show anymore.
Yeah. No, we're going to split this 2 ways. That's it. 2 ways.
All
Not
the
gonna-
lucrative profits.
I'm not playing that. So I'm like, Brian, why does my coffee taste weird? Get rid of me too.
I can't. Well, I don't know how to run the board or anything. I can't take you out.
Yeah. All right. You guys can follow us at radiounderground.co. I'm going to actually put it in the chat this time.
All right.
Not com, it's co.
CO.
Just like that. There's the link. You can get all the information you need about us. We appreciate you guys. So that next week we'll be all in the same room, and everything will be cool. Hopefully, my dad yelling in my face didn't transmit it to me, but we'll see.
I'm sure you're fine.
All right, and we'll end it with a little Evil E in his gaming highlight screaming, because I don't have an actual soundboard here right now. I just did it the simple way. So, all right, guys. See you guys later.
Go Blue.
That is mine. I put 86 in everything. Buttholes, fucking vaginas, I mean, whatever.
You can't say that on stream, dude. If you actually had like 100 people in here and you kept saying
Listen. First of all, my stream is 18 and older. So, hey, how y'all? No, it does matter because it's mature content only. So if I say fucking pussy, or I'm gonna fucking spread some fucking pussy lips, no, don't say that.
You see, it's because of people like that right there that will get you mad.
Yeah, oh man, you're racist as fuck. You know what? You need Jesus in your life. You need Jesus, boy! Jesus! I'm gonna fuck him up for saying that. Yup! No. Hey, Morgara.
Shut up, take the garbage out.
Morgan! Shut the fuck up! Hey, listen. On a real note, please, tell the people how amazing...
I don't care about your real note. Just take the garbage out.
That's what I'm talking about. Straight up ass shot, Forrest Gump style, right in the fucking dick.
Yeah.
Morgan, I fucking love you. I love playing this game with you. I wish I could play with you on a daily basis, 24/7. Where'd you go?
I'm right here. I didn't go nowhere.
Oh, okay. My guy didn't show up. Hey, you see that guy right there with the big... Yeah. I had 4 kills.
You need to learn how to manage your surroundings. Oh yeah. Forget this is the fist.
Bobby Schmurder, man, and Jeffrey Epstein. So you got the leader of the... What is going on here?
Match point.
No.
Let's take some down.
It's on. I just,
Aaron, on the other side of your wall. Raise your weapon. How do you miss that? He's walked right in front of you.
Morgan, shut up. I shot. They're about to catch...
They're going to come back and beat us.
They are going to come back and win because you want to fuck... Hey, my boy,
Get the fuck out of here, dude. I don't care about your boy. I don't care about your alcohol.
sweaty my nuts! Smell them! All up in your face! That's a shotgun to your fucking dome, try hard my nuts. So bad, so bad, I'm fucking crying, my name's Ace! Oh, Ace! They're so try hard, they're so sweaty, I'm crying! Eat my dick. How do you think I like that?